when I first hit adult prison, one of the dudes that was in my car was this black dude. I ain't really know him, and I didn't like him right out the bat. You could just tell he was a grimy dude, but he's part of the home team, you know, so he's there, right? I'm cooking with another dude. He was in there for murder, but I knew him from the streets, right? So that's my man. And so I would be cooking with him all the time, but this dude was his man, right? But I don't really like him, so I'm there, but I'm trying to not fuck with that dude. And then my homeboy, he gets moved off the block, and now it's just me and this dude. Well, I started noticing little shit. Like, I'd go to the shower and homie be in the shower. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm like, all right, is this motherfucker, like, really following me to the shower? You know what I mean? That type of shit. And I would fucking try to take showers at odd moments. Like, I'd see him playing poker, and I'd jump in the shower. And sure enough, that motherfucker would follow me over there to the shower. Well, then one day I was out on the block. I was out on the yard, and I come back. I forget what it was. But homie was like, yo, why you talking to that dude? I'm like, man, I talk to whoever the fuck I want to. What are you talking about? She better not talk to him again. I'm like, man, I'm going to talk to whoever the fuck I want to. You know what I mean? What he was trying to do was see what he could get away with, right? Because if I just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, I won't talk to him no more, then he can push a little further. Well, he kept trying to push. And it was so bad that I would go to sleep at night thinking about killing this motherfucker. He never really tried me, you know what I mean? He ain't trying no gay shit with me, but he just fucked with me to the point where I'm just like, I got to get homie out the way, you know? So I go to the warden, and I tell him, I'm like, yo, I want to go to the non-smoking dorm. And at the time, I smoked. But I'm like, fuck it, man. I get away from home, boy. I ain't got to worry about getting in no shit, fucking up my parole. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, I slide over there. I'm there for about maybe a week or two. I had this radio. I bought it from a guard for $100. And it was in my locker. Homie shows up on the block. I'm like, what the fuck? He must have told him he wanted to go to a non-smoking too, right? And I ain't do no pussy shit, like try to put a separation or nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing like that. So he's there. So now he's on my block. Well, I go to the yard, right? And when I get out on the yard, homie's got my radio. He done broke into my locker and got my radio. So I go over to him and I snatch that shit back, right? Because I'm new to this. I'm a dumbass too, right? I'm pretty loudmouth and just been known to be, you know, not very thinking in moments like that. So I just snatch it back. And he goes, I'm about to come over there and kill you and all your homies. He's talking some shit. He's telling his buddy to go get his shank and all that shit. So while he's saying that, now I'm fearing for my life. So I get back to the block and I go ahead and I get my master lock. And at the time we had these belts and I took that belt off and I had heard stories. I don't know from experience, but I had heard stories about people hitting somebody with the sock and the lock popping out the end of it. And now you just got a sock, you know what I mean? And I don't want that to happen to me. So I put my shit on a belt. Then I put that in the sock. And the way these buildings were set up, it was like a T building. You had the officer's bubble in the middle and then one long wing over here. And then on the other side, there was one long wing. And he would have to come down the sidewalk, come in a door, and when you come in this door, you're looking at the officer's bubble in front of you. And you got to walk right up to that bubble almost and make a left around the corner to come back into the bedding area. And I was waiting at that window, and I seen him coming down the walk. I watched him come in the door. And when he came in the door, I went up to the corner right there at the officer's bubble. So this whole thing happened at the officer's bubble. And when he came around the corner, I cracked him right in his shit with that lock. Bow! And he fell down. Well, when he fell down, he had this, it must have been a piece of a fence post because it was about this long and it was braided. He took a piece of the boot string and he braided a handle around it and he had that tied to his wrist. And when I saw that, I'm like, he's trying to kill me. You know what I mean? And I'm not no gangster. At this point, I'm just a scared motherfucking kid, you know? And I seen that, and I just started wailing. And I wailed until my arm got tired of wailing. And then they took me and put me in the hole. They didn't give me a shower. I was covered in homie's blood. They told me I killed him. I told my mama I killed him. I thought I killed him.